Time, it's the one thing we all get equally. Whether you're rich or poor, young or old, you get 24 hours a day, no more, no less. And yet, how we use that time determines everything: our success, our growth, our future. Too many of us waste it like it's unlimited. We scroll endlessly, procrastinate our goals, delay our dreams, and convince ourselves that tomorrow is when we'll start. But the truth is, tomorrow is not promised, and time will not wait for you. Every second you spend doing nothing meaningful is a second you will never get back. Time doesn't rewind, it doesn't apologize, and it doesn't pause when you're tired. Every minute matters because each one is a building block in the life you're creating. So if you're not where you want to be yet, it's time to stop making excuses and start making progress. The harsh truth: you don't need more time, you need more focus, more discipline, and more urgency. Because the clock is ticking whether you're working or wasting, it's up to you which one defines your life. 1. Time is the only resource you can't get back. Time is the most valuable asset you have, more precious than money, more irreplaceable than opportunity, and more fragile than anything you own. Unlike money, which can be earned again, or energy, which can be restored through rest, time is irreversible. Once it's spent, it's gone forever. And yet, most people treat time as if it's endless, wasting hours on meaningless tasks, distractions, or simply doing nothing at all, under the false comfort that they'll always have more time later. But the reality is, no one knows how much time they truly have. We live under the illusion of abundance when it comes to our days, thinking we'll have time to chase our dreams later, time to repair broken relationships later, time to work on ourselves later. But every day that passes is one less day in your lifetime. You can't buy back yesterday, you can't rewind the clock, and you certainly can't trade future success for present laziness and expect it all to work out. Ask yourself, how many days, months, or even years have slipped by where you said you would start something soon? How often have you chosen comfort over growth, entertainment over productivity, or delay over action? All of those moments added up, and even if you didn't notice, time did. It kept moving, quietly, constantly, without apology. While you hesitated, it passed. While you overthought, it vanished. While you waited for the perfect moment never came. Understanding the value of time means understanding the value of your life, because time is what your life is made of. If you're wasting time, you're wasting life. Every hour you spend has the potential to push you forward or pull you further away from your goals. It's not about being busy, it's about being intentional. The most successful people in the world don't have more time than anyone else. They simply treat their time as sacred, choosing to invest it in things that move them closer to their vision, their purpose, and their full potential. 2. Procrastination kills progress. Procrastination is one of the most silent yet destructive habits we fall into. It doesn't make a loud noise, it doesn't cause an immediate crisis, and it often disguises itself as something harmless: a quick break, a mental rest, a better time that we tell ourselves is just around the corner. But beneath that illusion lies a hard truth: procrastination is the enemy of progress. It slowly erodes your momentum, steals your time, and chips away at your potential. Every time you say, "I'll do it later," you're making a decision to delay your growth, to postpone your goals, to push your future one step further away. What feels like a small delay in the moment often turns into a pattern, and that pattern becomes a lifestyle. You get comfortable with postponing, with pushing deadlines, with living in a cycle of starting and stopping. And before you know it, weeks turn into months, and dreams remain stuck in the someday category, a day that never really comes. Procrastination isn't just about laziness. Sometimes it's fear of failure, fear of imperfection, fear of not being good enough. Sometimes it's indecision, not knowing where to start or what step to take next. Other times it's distraction, getting pulled away by things that are easy and enjoyable instead of what's important and necessary. But regardless of the reason, the result is the same: you don't move forward. What makes procrastination so dangerous is that it often comes with guilt. After the delay, after the excuse, there's usually a wave of regret, a feeling of being behind, of losing time, of letting yourself down again. That guilt can be paralyzing. It creates a loop. You put things off, you feel bad about it, and that bad feeling makes it even harder to start. And the longer you wait, the heavier it becomes. The task you avoided becomes bigger in your mind, the fear gets stronger, and your confidence gets smaller. But what procrastination never tells you is how much better you'll feel once you take action. The stress, the pressure, the self-doubt, they begin to fade the moment you start doing the work. Taking even a small step toward your goal builds momentum. It reminds you that you're capable, that progress is possible, and that you're in control of your time. 3. Distractions are stealing your life. We live in a world filled with constant noise, pings, notifications, breaking news, endless scrolling, and instant entertainment. And while these things may seem small or harmless in the moment, they are quietly stealing something incredibly valuable from you: your attention, your energy, and most dangerously, your time. Distractions don't always scream. Often they whisper. They disguise themselves as just a few minutes or a quick check. But those minutes add up. Those quick checks can derail an entire day of productivity. Distractions are not just stealing your time, they're stealing your focus. The very thing you need to do meaningful work, to grow, and to make real progress toward your goals. When you allow yourself to be constantly pulled away from what matters, you enter a cycle of starting and stopping, thinking and rethinking, doing and undoing. You lose rhythm, you lose clarity, and ultimately, you lose momentum. And when momentum is lost, motivation often follows. Think about it: how many hours have slipped by while you've been glued to your screen, bouncing between apps, watching videos, or scrolling through other people's lives. That time is not just gone, it was invested in someone else's content, someone else's story, someone else's creation. Meanwhile, your own dreams and goals sit on pause. You become a spectator in your own life instead of the creator of it. The more you give in to distractions, the more they begin to control you. Your attention span shortens, your discipline weakens, and your tolerance for deep work begins to disappear. You may feel busy, constantly checking, clicking, reacting, but busyness is not the same as productivity. Being active is not the same as being effective. And in this modern world, the ability to focus deeply on what matters has become a rare superpower. What makes distractions even more dangerous is that they're often engineered to be addictive. Apps, platforms, and digital tools are designed to grab your attention and keep it. They exploit your brain's craving for novelty, for validation, for quick dopamine hits. And unless you're intentional about how you manage your time and space, they will continue to dominate your day without you even realizing it. The scariest part: most people don't recognize how much time they're truly losing because distractions feel normal. They're part of the routine, the default behavior, but behind that routine is a silent thief, one that is robbing you of your time, your creativity, your growth, and your future. 4. Success requires prioritizing what matters in a world full of noise, options, and endless to-do lists. It's easy to stay busy but go absolutely nowhere. Many people confuse movement with progress, activity with achievement. They check off minor tasks, respond to messages, attend meetings, or scroll through feeds under the illusion of being productive. But the harsh truth is, not everything that demands your attention deserves your energy. If you want to succeed, you have to stop being busy for the sake of being busy and start being intentional. That starts with prioritization. True success is not about doing everything, it's about doing the right things. It's about learning to distinguish between what is urgent and what is important. Urgent things often scream the loudest. They come with deadlines, pressure, or social expectation. But it's usually the important things, the ones that require focus, patience, and consistent effort, that build your future, and those are the ones that often get pushed aside when you don't prioritize properly. Every successful person you admire has learned this one critical skill: the ability to say no to the noise and yes to what truly aligns with their purpose. They don't allow other people's priorities to dictate their schedule. They don't get distracted by low-impact activities or consumed by tasks that don't push them forward. They build their days around actions that are tied to their goals, and they fiercely protect their time for those actions. The ability to prioritize comes from clarity. You must know what you want, why you want it, and what it takes to get there. Without that clarity, It's easy to fall into the trap of reactive living, constantly responding to what's in front of you instead of intentionally moving toward what's ahead. You spend your time reacting instead of creating. You end up exhausted but unfulfilled, busy but stuck, active but not accomplished. Prioritization also forces you to make tough decisions. It means choosing progress over comfort. It means giving up some things, even good things, so that you can focus on great things. It might mean fewer social events, less screen time, or waking up earlier. It might even mean walking away from things that once mattered, but no longer serve your bigger vision. Because the truth is, you can't do everything, but you can do what matters most. And that's where real momentum begins. When you align your daily choices with your long-term goals, you stop wasting time on things that don't move the needle. You stop chasing what's popular and start committing to what's purposeful. You learn to filter your tasks, protect your energy, and give your best hours to what truly counts. That level of focus becomes your competitive edge. It's what separates those who try from those who succeed. 5. Time reflects your discipline. The way you spend your time is a direct reflection of your self-discipline. You can set all the goals in the world, talk about your dreams endlessly, and create the most beautiful vision boards, but if your daily actions don't align with those goals, they will forever remain fantasies. Discipline is the bridge between desire and achievement, and time is the vehicle that carries you across that bridge. Think about it. Every successful person you admire didn't just get there by wanting it more, they got there by doing more, consistently, even when they didn't feel like it. Discipline means choosing what you need over what you want. It means waking up early when your bed is warm and your body is tired. It means working on your craft while others are scrolling, grinding while others are gossiping, and showing up even when no one is watching. That's where real character is built, and it all comes down to how you manage your time. Every hour is an opportunity to build something, whether that's strength, knowledge, a skill, a business, or inner peace. But if you lack discipline, those hours get scattered. They vanish in distractions, in comfort, in avoidance. You might tell yourself, "I'll do it tomorrow," or "I need to be in the right mood." But success doesn't wait for your mood. It respects your habits. Time doesn't reward intention. It rewards execution. You can have all the right plans, but if your time is spent on things that bring no return emotionally, physically, mentally, or financially, then you're simply busy, not productive. And discipline is what allows you to identify that gap and close it. It teaches you to honor commitments to yourself, to resist the urge to quit, and to focus on what matters even when distractions call your name. Your calendar doesn't lie. Look at your day. What does it say about you? Does it reflect someone who is driven, focused, and growing? Or does it reflect someone who is waiting, drifting, and avoiding? Discipline is not about being perfect, it's about being consistent. It's about doing the small, often boring things that compound over time into extraordinary results. You build discipline like a muscle through repetition and resistance. And your time is the gym. Every moment you spend wisely strengthens that muscle. Every time you say no to procrastination and yes to purpose, you get stronger. Every time you choose to act, even when it's hard, you train your brain to prioritize growth over comfort. And slowly but surely, your disciplined use of time becomes the foundation of your success. 6. Small wasted moments add up over time. We often underestimate the power of small moments. A few minutes here, a short break there, they seem harmless, even deserved. But what many people fail to realize is that these tiny, wasted moments quietly compound. 5 minutes of scrolling, 10 minutes of procrastination, 20 minutes of distraction. It doesn't feel like much in the moment, but over days, weeks, months, and years, those little gaps become vast chasms of lost opportunity. Let's do the math. If you waste just 30 minutes a day time spent on things that don't add value, don't move you forward, and don't serve your goals, that's nearly 0 minutes a year. That's over 180 hours, the equivalent of more than 4 full work weeks. And that's just 30 minutes. For many people, the number is much higher. When you add up the time spent mindlessly scrolling, watching videos with no real purpose, overthinking instead of taking action, or simply doing tasks that don't matter, You start to see how powerful time management really is and how dangerous small distractions can become. What makes these small moments so tricky is how deceptive they are. Because they don't scream for attention, they slide under your awareness. They become part of your routine, part of your normal. You tell yourself, I'll just check this one thing, or I need a quick break. And suddenly, 20 minutes are gone, and with it, your focus, your flow, your motivation. These constant, small interruptions pull you out of deep work, break your concentration, and drain your productivity more than you realize. But the flip side is also true. Just like wasted time compounds negatively, intentional time compounds positively. 5 minutes spent reading each day becomes a book finished in a month. 10 minutes of planning your day each morning leads to hours saved in decision-making and task switching. 15 minutes a day practicing a new skill leads to measurable improvement in a few weeks. The small choices you make each day aren't meaningless, they are the building blocks of your future. The key is awareness. When you become conscious of where your minutes are going, you begin to take back control of your time. You stop living passively and start choosing how your time is spent with purpose. That doesn't mean you need to eliminate all downtime or rest. It means you must recognize the difference between rest and waste, between recovery and avoidance. Rest is intentional and rejuvenating. Waste is passive and draining. Ultimately, success is not built in grand gestures. It's built in the micro decisions you make day after day, the choice to stay focused for 10 more minutes, the decision to start instead of scroll, the commitment to show up even in small ways. Because when those small moments are used wisely, they don't just add up, they multiply. 7. Your future depends on the time you control today. The future is not something that simply happens to you, it's something you create, one decision, one action, and one moment at a time. And the raw material you use to shape that future is time. What you do with your hours today directly influences where you'll be tomorrow. The life you dream of, the goals you want to achieve, the person you aspire to become, all of it begins with how you choose to spend your time right now. It's easy to fantasize about the future, to talk about dreams, to envision success, to say one day I will. But that day doesn't arrive unless you make it. The future isn't some distant event waiting for you to catch up, it's being built right now in the present. And every time you waste a day, put off a goal, or ignore your potential, you're not just delaying success, you're rewriting your future into something smaller, something less. Time is the currency of your dreams. Every minute you invest wisely is a deposit into your future self's success. Every minute you squander is an opportunity you'll never get back. People often say they don't have time, but the truth is, they do. They're just spending it on things that don't align with their goals. If you say you want to be great but spend your time doing average things, your future won't align with your ambitions. There's a disconnect, and that disconnect becomes a barrier. The most successful people understand this deeply. They guard their time with intention. They don't just let the day happen, they design it. They decide what matters most and structure their time to reflect that. It doesn't mean they never rest or have fun, but they understand that every day is a brick. And each brick they lay with purpose becomes part of the foundation of the future they're building. Waiting for the right time is a dangerous trap. There's no perfect moment to start. There will always be distractions, obligations, and reasons to delay. But the future doesn't wait. It rewards those who start, even when conditions aren't ideal. If you keep waiting for things to be easier or clearer, you'll find yourself in the same place year after year, wondering why your life hasn't changed. The truth is, your future self is depending on you, depending on the choices you make today, depending on your discipline, your focus, your willingness to act even when it's hard. Because the version of you that succeeds, the one that achieves the goals, lives the dream, becomes the person you know you're capable of being, isn't created by chance. It's created by time well spent.